You're still watching Open Exchange. It's April Fool's Day today, and while it might be good fun for corporates or organizations to participate and play pranks on clients or consumers, could the shoe end up on the other foot when the reputation is ruined? Vincent Magwenya, he's the chief executive of Magna Carta, joins us to talk about the implications of these April Fool's jokes that could go wrong. Social media is obviously now a big part of everybody's life. Since we've been seeing more and more people using social media, are you finding that in terms of reputation damage, you'll have to step in more and more because of this?
No, certainly. The digitization of the sharing of information and the distribution of information has made it a lot more interesting for us and a lot more complex and difficult for corporates, because what essentially happens is you have all your stakeholders talking about you at the same time. And you may be part of that conversation or you may not be part of that conversation. And that conversation could then precipitate a series of actions that could end up landing the reputation of your brand in some kind of difficulty or trouble, as it were.
What do you do when there has been reputational damage that's been done to a brand? Maybe somebody within the organization sends out a tweet or sends an email. You know, what is the first point of call? Is there any way that you can get the brand or minimize the brand damage?
We try and be proactive with our clients. So we try and put proactive measures in place where we encourage our clients to have a social media policy in place. We also conduct scenario planning exercise where we assess areas of vulnerability for any brand. So what could potentially hurt the reputation of the brand? And we use that content to then draw up a blueprint or a guide, which we normally refer to as a crisis management guide, which will then will dictate the escalation processes, the manner in which to respond, the timing of that response. So all of those elements and other things go into that guide. But with all of that, things still do happen. And when things do happen, we rely on leadership playing an effective role in dealing whatever incident that is of reputational risk.
What is the good turnaround time to come in and step in for leadership to come and say, listen, we've seen this has happened, we're acknowledging it and we're doing something about it? Because a lot of the times, you know, some organizations get a lot of flack for not have responded soon enough.
I wish I could tell you. All I can tell you is that that vacuum is a problem. We've seen incidents where in a matter of minutes, a silence from an organization or a brand leads to all sorts of speculation around a particular incident. And by the time you're communicating, you are on a massive back foot. I refer to a crisis management guide earlier on. That raises the level of awareness of how important it is to close that gap between an incident and the time in which an organization can communicate. Of importance is not to throw a legal rule book into a situation. It's important that you empathize if there's a need to empathize. It's important that you take accountability. And it's important that you acknowledge that incident, even though you may be embarking upon an investigation or you may be activating various processes. But it is difficult for us to say. We've been conducting drills where we were looking at how do you narrow down that gap. All I can tell is that 30 minutes is a lot in our days from the moment the incident occurs and the process in which the time it takes to escalate that issue to leadership, for leadership to respond effectively. It may not be one response, it may be a series of responses as the situation rolls out. I guess the most important thing is a level of preparedness.
Vincent, thank you so much for coming in and braving the traffic to be here with us this morning. Thank you so much. Excellent. That was Vincent Magwenya, the chief executive of Magna Carta, and of course just telling us about some of those processes that you can put in place. But maybe to be safe, just don't send that tweet if you're second guessing it.